Hello, hello. This is Caroline Johnson here to tell you a little bit about Clever. I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is and how it can be used in your classroom, as well as some cool programs that we can use with it. So let's start off with what even is Clever? Clever is a single platform that will host all of our virtual learning resources, such as BrainPop and iExcel and News ELA and those other resources that we use outside of the OHS. And the cool thing about Clever is that it will be one login for the students to access all of those different programs. So it'll be like a one-stop shop for our students. So at the start of next year is when we'll start using Clever, and it'll significantly reduce the amount of login credentials per student, which is awesome. We don't have to keep up with all of the different passwords and usernames for the students. So we'll just send them to Clever, and they can get logged in from there. So it's very exciting. So as a teacher, here is your Clever login. So the URL will be clever.com/in/GCA. Your username will be your Georgia Cyber email address, most likely. If you have trouble logging in with the Georgia Cyber email address, let me know and I can help you figure out what your username is. But for most people, it should be your GA Cyber email address. And your temporary password will be capital GCA123, and it will ask you to change that password when you get started. So once you get logged in, you're going to be able to click on classes and you'll see all of the classes that you are the teacher for in Infinite Campus. So this should be your current classes. If you are listed as a teacher for any other courses, maybe another teacher's courses, those will show up in here as well. So whatever is in IC is what's going to show here. And the cool thing about that is it syncs with Infinite Campus, and so your rosters will stay up to date as well. So if you gain a new student or lose a student, within 24 hours or so, your Clever rosters should be updated. And with your Clever rosters being updated, that means your BrainPop rosters will be updated, and that means your iExcel rosters will be updated. So it'll all sync with Infinite Campus. So click on one of your classes, and we're going to take a look at what it looks like when you actually get in a class here. You'll see your roster showing up down here at the bottom. Up top, it will show whatever name was on the previous screen, but you actually can change it to show a more specific name for that class, a nickname, so that it's easier to distinguish classes by classes. One really cool thing I think is on the roster, it shows if the students are logged in or not, similar to what you see on USA Test Prep. And this really helps with engagement and classroom management. If you tell your students to go to Clever, you can quickly look at the roster here and you can see if they're logged in or not. So that's pretty exciting. So now that you've seen that roster page, I want to take a look at BrainPop. So this is one of the programs that will be housed here in Clever, and I want to focus on BrainPop because the students love it. It's definitely a student favorite. So click on the little BrainPop icon for apps, and within BrainPop you should see all of your rosters in there already. So down here, there are a couple of quotes that I've gotten from my students about how much they've loved using BrainPop. Most of them used it when they were younger, and so they were very excited to see that the high school course material was also covered in BrainPop because it's a very familiar format to them and it's exciting to see. They also love the videos and how there are quizzes and games to go along with them. And I love this one here, that you don't just learn the material, you also learn how it applies to you. So it kind of turns that material into real life scenarios that's a little bit easier for our students to digest. So when you get into BrainPop, I suggest that you first start with BrainPop 101. And when you click on this, down here, there are a lot of different ways that you can learn a little bit more about BrainPop. But my favorite one is the movie, because the thing that the students love about BrainPop is the videos about the content. And if you click on that movie, it's actually going to teach you as the teacher about BrainPop in the same way that we would assign say a video about nouns to our students. So it's still going to be that Tim and Moby, easy to understand movie or video, but for the teacher about BrainPop. So I suggest if you pick one thing, pick the movie. So once you've done the BrainPop 101, you can click back on this little robot head or little Moby head to get back to the home page. And you can see it has all the different subjects here, and you can use this search feature up top to find exactly what you're looking for your class. So we are going to try to do a search. So we're going to search for nouns. You would put it here in the search bar, and then you click the search button. Once you do that, you're going to get to this screen. So you'll see that nouns pops up, but also other topics that would include nouns. So parts of speech in general, personal pronouns, possessives. You're going to see all of the different topics that include nouns. You also may see some game results down here. So if you just want to do something fun with your class, you can give them some games to use for that same topic. So there are quizzes and there are challenges and other things that go along with these, but you'll see those once you pick a topic. So if we clicked on nouns, that's when we would see the option to assign a quiz or a follow-up video or a challenge or some extra game options. So we click on nouns and this is what we get here. So many options. So the movie option is the main noun video. There's also quizzes, challenges. All of these we don't have access to right now, but there are options for make a map, make a movie, some related reading options. So the main things that we will be using are the movies and the quizzes and the challenges. So you can click on it, then you can assign it to your students. And once you click assign, you have the option to use a quiz that's already made by BrainPop, or you could create your own quiz. So when you go back into Clever, you can make these resource pages. So this is where you could put things like News ELA, like other resources that you find around the web. You can kind of make this whole resource page for your students. So like I said at the beginning, Clever really is like a one-stop shop for our students. And the cool thing is that programs like BrainPop and iExcel will have those rosters in there, but we also can add other resources that we find around the web. So it really does become a one-stop shop for our students. You want to make sure that this resource page is visible to students if you're going to be using this page. And again, just like previously, you can change the name here to a nickname to show exactly what group of students you want to show this resource page to. So do you have any questions? And if not, what are you most excited about when thinking about using this in your classroom? What excites you about using this in your classroom? It's very cool to think about having a one-stop shop, just sending the students to Clever and everything that they need is right there. Something that I'm excited about is that resource page. So in my English class, if I'm doing a research project with my students, I could put some resources there for how to do MLA formatting or how to look for research, search tools. Things like that. I could put resources that go along with what unit we're teaching on that resource page. So that's one way that I'm really excited about using it. So your next steps are to send out the provided email template to your students as soon as you're ready to dive in with Clever. The template will walk your students through getting logged in, and it'll briefly introduce them to Clever so they kind of know what they're getting into. If you have any questions at all or need any extra support, I'm happy to help. You can reach out to me through email, and we can set up a time to meet and walk through it together. So know that I'm here to help you any step of the way. Just reach out and I will be there. All right, thank you.